First, let's start with the most recent high-level updates. So this is for week 36. The number one is the new forms builder, and it's basically added inside the funnel builder. Now you can do it inside your funnel. You don't need to leave the funnel part and then go back to sites, go to funnel builder, make the edits. I had this update in a previous video, but if you haven't seen it, I'll just show you an example. So here's one of my landing pages, and I have a pop-up, and here I'm using a form. And let's say I want to start collecting phone numbers as well on this form. Now, if you click on the form, on the right side, you have edit form. You can just go inside and add more fields to your form. For example, I want to collect the phone numbers. I just drag and drop, and now it's collecting the phone numbers as well. You can just save and exit this form. And it's now collecting phone numbers as well. It was as easy as that. So it makes editing easier. It's gonna save you some time. So that's the number one update we had this week. And the second is we have multiple pop-ups on the same landing page. So now we have an exit pop-up as well. Because let's say, so this is my funnel, this button, the button action is next step currently, but it could be a pop-up, which I had it earlier do. And the pop-up is going to be the form. We are going to collect their data, but let's say you have some other actions that you, or some more data that you want to collect. Now you can go to the pop-up settings and then create a new pop-up. And this new pop-up is going to be an exit pop-up. So once they are on desktop, HighLevel actually knows where your mouse is, like where you are going currently in the header or going to the click a button. But if you are going to exit the page, once you are exit, it's gonna know it has to work with the exit pop-up. So the exit pop-up is going to pop up, and then you can add a new offer here. For example, on e-commerce sites, it's often, hey, don't leave yet. We'll give you a 10% discount if you purchase now. So that's one way to keep the leads before they leave your website or leave your funnel. Now you can have multiple pop-ups, and the first pop-up, let's say, is going to be still connected to a button action. If you go here and then select open pop-up instead of next step. So the next update, number 3, is going to be for compliancy and for building trust. So earlier you had to do a bunch of DNS setups and settings to make sure your emails land in the primary box and not under spam or under promotions. Now that's been automated, so HighLevel is going to do it automatically for you. And now here's another update, is just compliancy. So here's a screenshot of under phone system advanced settings. Now you can just turn these on and then make your SMS compliant by adding sender information and then adding an opt-out message. So it's gonna automatically add that you can reply stop anytime to stop the SMS marketing, for example. Because it's different in every country, it's different in Europe with the GDPR. I know California has some strict rules as well. So now HighLevel is going to do it instead of you to stay compliant, and then to make sure if you are sending thousands and multiple hundreds of thousands SMSs monthly maybe, then you are going to stay compliant and you won't have any legal problems. But of course, if you have higher volume, it's still best to maybe connect with a lawyer or a compliance officer. But this is something to make sure we look better, and then just to make sure we are not going to end up in the spam folders also. So again, this can be found under phone system, advanced test settings, under your agency account. But here I have something else. So next step, number 4, the next update we have is the new template library. So we have some bigger thumbnails, enhanced previews, more insights, and a seamless toggle between grid and list views. You can also easily switch between mobile, table, and then desktop mode. So I remember last week when we had the updates, I showed some new templates that rolled out both for the funnels and the websites, but now we just have a better user interface. So I already have this prepared. Let's say I'm under funnels. I want to create a new funnel, so I go to templates, continue. So here's where you can switch between the grid and list layout. And once you go to the list, you can actually see how many downloads each template has. So for example, this one has 152 downloads already. So I figured this would be a nice one to use. It has big thumbnails, so I kind of get an idea of how it looks, what options the landing page has. And if you go to preview, you can here select the different placements. So currently I'm looking at desktop, but let's say I want to do a mobile layout. You can just switch over, and then it's pretty easy and it loads quick, except the images, but you also need to wait for the images every time, so it's not bad. And then I really like how you have the data of how many downloads each template has. So for example, if you go to most popular, you can compare the numbers. So the most popular is the business services with over 20K downloads. And then the number 2 is SaaS sales. So if you want something unique, you probably shouldn't use these two templates. But if you scroll down, you can get around the 2K, 1K range. These are going to be a bit more unique. But if you stick with the most recent, the recent templates are also looking pretty nice. So that's something on the preview side. And next up, we have another update in the funnel builder. So finally, a new feature, you can blur backgrounds and you can add a gradient background. So the color is going to change as you scroll. This is a great feature because if you are not a designer, you had to play around with this, and I had it happen to me as well. I don't really know how to create a gradient background, so I was playing around in Photoshop, Canva, and then you had to add it to the HighLevel funnel. So now it's much easier. For example, I have my landing page here. You just click on the background and then you can go under the general settings. And here, if you select the background drop down, you can add an image, of course, add a video. But if you add a color, you have the gradient option. And then currently it's going from blue to white. But you can change the starting color and the end color. So let's say I want the start color to be one of my brand colors. I already have the brand colors added. It was from a previous video. And then end color, I just want to use white. So now it's going from white to my branded green. I would need to change the image to make sure it has a transparent background, but it looks pretty sick. And then you can change, currently it's linear, but you can make it coming from the middle, or you can angle it, but I think just the linear looks the best. You can change the sensitivity, how aggressive the color is. If you pull it to 100%, it's actually gonna start at the top already. And you can change the angles if you use the angled one. If you add image, you can change the background blur. It doesn't really apply here because it's just a color, but those are some new updates that's gonna make your funnel or website stand out better. I think it's a great update again, and as you see, super simple to use. So those are the 5 most recent updates to HighLevel. I'll have this document in my school group as well as the live replay. So you can grab this, download this, and then see the detailed description, for example, about the gradient background color. Alright, that's all for today. But if you have any more questions regarding meta heads or high-level strategies, just let me know, comment down below the video, and I'll make sure to respond to them. Otherwise, in the description, you are going to find 2 links. The first is going to be my free school community, and it's the perfect place if you are just starting on your journey with meta ads on HighLevel, and it's completely free. So you are welcome to join. It's a great community. And if you are looking for something more, there's a 14-day free trial to HighLevel, and it's also going to give you a free access to my paid community, which is currently $47 per month. So you can grab the free trial using the link in my description, and then I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.